It's actually insane that we finally got this anime. If you were an anime fan 1, 2, 3, 4... 10 years ago? I'm getting old. If you were an anime fan back then, you know about this show. It was huge in the anime spheres, despite not really reaching outside of the community since it was, well, very anime. Hell, it's still objectively huge. On my anime list, it is ranked as the 68th most popular show of all time. So close. And 68th might not sound that high, but there are thousands of anime with like hundreds of shows being released every single year now. So a show that came out when the community was a fraction of today's size being this high up still is frankly astonishing. What show am I even talking about? Hataraku Maou-sama, or The Devil is a Part-Timer, is a comedy show that released in the spring of 2013 and it took the anime world by storm. Look, I know this show isn't that groundbreaking by today's standards. It's practically an isekai show and we're now getting what, 2,473 of those per season? But 10 years ago, this show's premise was seen as quite new and clever. Demon Lord Mao Sadao loses a battle to the hero Emilia and flees to a different world. Modern day Japan. Which, let's be honest, is like a different world for anyone. You have fucking Wally working the hotel desk and you can pay random women to act as your mom for a day. Mao doesn't have any powers in this new and strange world, so he has to find a different way of working his way to the top. By getting a minimum wage slave job at McDonald's. I mean, McRonald. Okay, I can believe demons, sure. But 2 people living off 1 minimum wage part-timer? In this economy? The 2 demons and the hero have to blend into society by adopting new aliases. We have Mao Zedong. I mean, Mao Sadao. But honestly, naming yourself the Japanese word for Satan isn't much better. I know the show's premise seems a bit cliche by today's standards with modern isekai shows about turning into vending machines and getting pregnant. What the fuck is going on with anime? Back in 2013, this type of show wasn't as commonplace. Because it left such an impact on the whole community back then, people were constantly asking for a second season. But until recent years, an anime getting popular wasn't a guarantee that it would get greenlit for more to be produced. You see, in the olden days, it felt completely random as for which anime would get a second season. Huge shows with tons of hype and critical acclaim, literally in the top 20 most popular shows of all time on Mal, I sleep. Generic ecchi show? Please give me another 10 of those. People gave up hope for another season of Part-Timer Devil a long time ago, but when the announcement of a second season randomly popped up in my feed a decade later, I was happily surprised. And then I watched it. To say that the new seasons are disappointing would be an understatement. There are 2 very obvious problems with this new adaptation. Firstly, I'm just gonna be frank here, it looks like complete dog shit. Normally this wouldn't be such an issue, but when a huge chunk of the comedy is meant to be visual, or at least enhanced by the visuals, this is a big problem. Season 1 looked great, the artwork is clean, the animation is used sparingly but effectively. Just look at this slick opening animation. I still think about this OP 10 years later. The characters actually look their age. Like, just compare Mao from the first season to the second, he looks like he just went from a young adult to a middle schooler, and it just doesn't work. His co-worker Chiho is meant to be a high schooler, working part-time and thus Mao's junior at work, meaning Mao is the age of a young working adult. Which makes a lot more sense, since his initial goal is to go from part-time to full-time. But here he looks like he has math homework due tomorrow and needs to figure out the speed at which I had to watch season 2 to get through it before my patience ran out, divided by the amount of frames used in a fight scene, and solve for X if you multiply the first season's rating by the second one's and divide by how many years of my life I wasted waiting for this fucking show. Sorry, I got a bit carried away there. And all of this wouldn't be that big of a deal if it wasn't for the show's second issue. The Maou-sama isn't Hatarakuing. Look, the otherworldly plot, it worked in the first season because it played second fiddle to the bizarre sitcom scenarios, and only took center stage to show off how cool Mao is in his demon form. But in the new season, it's pretty much the majority of the focus, and it's just not all that interesting. Mao in the new season is like a shell of his former self. In season 1, he's this calm and collected person. Sure, sometimes he's goofy, but you always feel like he has everything under control when he's needed. Which is why it works so well when he tries to apply his skill set to McRonald and takes it so seriously. Part of the humor and intrigue comes from watching this overpowered demon lord giving his all while salting some curly fries at a fast food conglomerate. In season 2, he doesn't really do anything until like the last couple of episodes, and he ends up being thrown around or saved by Emilia more than anything, both in battle and at work. Humanizing him with his sad backstory and slowly showing that he's actually not a bad guy is cool and all, but don't change his current self retroactively. In season 2, he's honestly kind of pathetic. Also, his demon form in season 1 slaps, and in season 2 he kinda just looks goofy. Also, this kid, Alice Ramus, is kind of annoying. I don't think she's that cute. Homie thinks she's Anya, but this isn't meant to be some off-brand family drama. We here for the Big Macs. All I want to know is, where's McRonald, Kentucky Fried Chicken, fucking Holy Potter? I wonder if this is J.K. Rowling's attempt at finally outselling the Holy Bible. The focus is entirely on this whatever convoluted isekai plot with angels, corruption, and magic shards, when the reason fans fell in love in the first place was simply to watch some out-of-place demon dudes and their struggles against managers, rent, and societal norms. Some people somehow still enjoy the new seasons, which is fine, although some of y'all enjoying it a little too much. I'm not trying to gatekeep people's enjoyment of the new season. I'm simply a fan of the show who's disappointed in what has become one of my first anime loves. I think the fact that this finally got made in the first place is a lot more interesting than the show itself ended up being.
Sometimes the story of the story is more important than the actual story.
Hopefully this means that we can finally get some long-awaited sequels, and hopefully they end up in a better state than what we got here. I'll still be hyped if they announce a new season of No Game No Life, Gin no Saji, or anything else. Just please give them to a competent studio, guys. Well, at least they apologize to me. Okay, thanks, bye.